Well, your last name is like hippie-ish.
Shermanara.
Circadian.
Why is that hippie?
That's hippie-ish. It's
Yeah,
Armenian.
it's like it sounds like Native American.
Why? Because chuke.
Yeah, chuke. Yeah, it means like running water.
What
or
are
some
you,
shit.
Fabian?
I'm Colombian and Ecuadorian.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of people say Asian. Like, so I moved into this new neighborhood because we moved into my girl's house. She like inherited a house, like R.I.P. her mom. But so we have new neighbors, and like they'll be like, "Are you Asian?" Like they'll just come up to me. They'll just be like,
"That's all Italians over there, right?"
Yeah, we're in Franklin Square. It's like home of Jersey Shore.
Right.
So like,
I don't know anything about it there.
Super Italian.
It's so Italian. It's like they basically like you ever heard of like what redlining is?
Yeah.
It's like redlining and like it's like so like back in the day banks wouldn't give loans to black people for certain neighborhoods. Like they'll be like, "Oh, I need a loan so that I could buy a house in Levittown or like Franklin Square." And they wouldn't do that for them in like those towns. It would just be white. So it's just filled with like Italian people.
And then like the next town over.
Yes, it's like West Hempstead or something, or Hempstead.
Is that how like even where we live here, there's like a near us, there's like a big Polish community. Like it's so weird how there's like pockets, but they're right next to each other. It's like, how did people from Poland go there? Like on Long Island, you don't think of like a Polish community.
Oh, that's strange. Yeah.
But right there, it's like you go by, it's all the grocery stores, and it's like one block from here. It's
the only interaction I had with Long Island, like when I was younger, was like there used to be a lot of MS-13 going on out here, and like that's all I remember hearing about on the news when I was younger. It's like, oh, the MS-13 in Amityville, MS-13 and fucking like I'm like. Is
they make it seem like you can't even walk around.
I think Central Islip had a lot.
Yeah. It was. I was like,
but you don't hear about them anymore.
Yeah, that was years ago. Yeah,
but you always like kids.
Yeah,
it's always like 13-year-olds.
It's their number
with like a dull knife.
Yeah, and the news will be like, "Yo, the gangs are out of control," and it's just a child.
It's like a bad kids.
They're like bad high school kids that like stab one girl. It's not that big of a deal.
Yo, you know what was crazy? Like the like, cause I went to high school in like the city basically in New York City, cause
Bayside,
like, Queens,
Bayside,
yeah,
Queens.
so Queens, so on Halloween, like there was always like a scare. It was like always like the girls got to stay inside. Everyone who's joining the Bloods has to slash a girl. Or something.
Wow.
Stop.
Yeah. So it would be like,
but did it ever happen?
Was nice though, right?
So you know what happened my year actually is they closed down like Jamaica High School or some shit. So we had all the transfers, like the bus line ran to Jamaica to like our school. So we had all the transfers from that high school come in, and then there was like a crazy like gang problem for like 3 or 4 years.
Did you ever join a gang?
Nah, not really. Nah, I mean, like, I just smoke cigarettes with the same group of people.
So you were like acquaintances with them? Like, you were, like, kind of cool with them?
I was just cool with them.
Like, they were, like, good friends. You, like, felt like, this is my clique.
Like, I'm like, like, we would all hang out together, and, like, it was weird. It was
no
so
crimes,
weird.
though? Like, don't beating people up.
Nah. But, like, I mean, like, you would see it happen, like, every day. And you know what was crazy? It was, like, supposed to be, like, 2,000 kids in our school, and we had, like, 6,000. So like the school was so packed that you wouldn't be able to walk. Like it was like imagine a gym with too many people in it, like trying to do jiu-jitsu.
Like a Travis Scott concert.
It was worse. It was literally worse than that. And
that's wild.
It was crazy. Yeah. So there was always some bullshit going on.
But so you didn't do jiu-jitsu or wrestling?
No, I thought wrestling was gay, honestly. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know. I was
I think people say that.
I think if you don't, most like boys in high school, if they don't wrestle, they're like, "Oh, wrestling's gay."
Rolling around with guys.
We didn't even have the option to do wrestling.
Oh, at your high school, no wrestling.
We didn't have. Yeah, I don't think like a lot of city schools have that. Like it's like I don't know. Maybe it's the funding to the program or whatever, but we just never had. We didn't have a football team. That all got added later when we left, and it's interesting because I trained close to where my high school was, so I want to like get into the wrestling team and like help them out and bring them into like Henzo Bayside or whatever. But I thought wrestling was gay. I thought I knew how to fight.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm fine. Like,
so then when did you start training jiu-jitsu then? How did you get into jiu-jitsu?
So I remember when I was like 20, I did CrossFit, and one of Matt Serra's black belts ran the cross. You know who Manimal is?
Oh yeah.
So Manimal, I've known him for like 10 years now. He I remember he was like telling me like his accomplishments or whatever one day. We're like doing a workout of the day.
A
and
wad?
Then, yeah, a wad. And he's like, I'm a Matt Serra black belt, like 2nd degree or whatever. And I'm like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like energy me? Like, ooh, like I'm like, get that bullshit out of here. And then I told him I was moving to East Meadow, and he was like, yo, you should check out Sarah's over there. And I went in like first day, and I just got strangled by like a 14-year-old with no ears.
And you were how old?
It's 23.
23.
Yeah, and he was like, it
Was
was like
this
this
a gi class or no?
Yeah,
gi?
it was a gi class, and I just remember I was paired up with this kid. Like he was wearing headgear, and he literally had no ears. Like he just had holes in the side of his head, and he had a little stump too, and it was cauliflowered. So he had like a little, like he didn't have ears. He just had a little cauliflower like stump right here. And I remember like just getting my ass handed to me by this kid, and I was like, I immediately bought a gi, and I left that class thinking like I can't walk around like with knowing that I would get my ass kicked by.
That was the first realization. Like you thought I'm a tough kid.
Yeah.
And when you realized you ended on someone who knows a little bit, then you realize,
Yo,
I'm helpless.
so
many people never get to realize that.
Yeah.
That's crazy that they don't. I mean, maybe it's better to be like that because you just live in like La La Land.
Like tons of guys that
ignorance is bliss.
Don't train. Like you guys don't know too many, or you don't know too many people that don't train anymore.
No, I literally know.
But I know tons of people that don't, and like they don't realize that they're completely helpless. Like a little girl that trains is fucking those guys up.
Yeah.
Well, that's why when people ask, they're like, "Oh, do you like that don't train?" They're like, "Could you fuck me up?" I'm like, "Well, like if we do jujitsu, and you know nothing, then I'm like, it might be annoying. You might like smash my or like squeeze my head for a while, but I'm like, not in. If we just do like a stand up street fight, I'm not because you're probably just gonna like swing and hit me. But I was like, if we do jujitsu, like for a guy, I'm probably like. Fucking mom.
But even then, like I feel like God, like just learning, because like the way I measure it sometimes is like the me that did like some striking against the me that did no striking, I would murder myself. So like I feel like the people that don't do any striking, like I feel like you would just.
I'm just talking about like a big dude.
Yeah, I guess.
It just come like a bar fight, like just come swinging at me, and like then I might be like
a Kyle, just with like.
You might get tired pretty quick.
Yeah,
slip a couple punches.
Yeah, but if they land one, I'm done.
So then when you said I'm gonna come back and get good at this right away, you felt that way? Because usually you could go the other way too, like fuck this and get discouraged.
No, I was like, cause like I felt I was like stronger than him too, and like it's not like I hadn't been working out. I've been lifting weights all the time, and I was like, I don't know, it was just such a crazy realization that like I didn't know shit, and and
you couldn't even use like your strength.
I couldn't. I was picking him up. I would literally pick him up, and like I'd be like, okay, I'm just getting choked in midair now. There's no difference. Like so I went right back.
Then when did you start competing right away? Like
so like almost like probably like a month and a half in, I competed, and that I feel like that's like so key to getting good is like not being hesitant to like compete and like test yourself or whatever, because then if you just get comfortable like within your group of white belts and you become the best white belt, that doesn't mean shit,
right?
You know.
So then now you're at a position where you're like basically like a professional grappler, right?
I would say
who's
so.
number one and some big shows, but there's not like a ton of money in it.
Oh no, no way.
So then what's like when you are in that like if you were at that level but fighting like professional but like regional like Ring of Combat stuff, your goal is I'm gonna be in the UFC and then make money. As your position now, like what is your goal as a professional grappler?
Well, first of all, I would say like now to like get show money, I feel like that's important. Like guaranteed money for events. I feel like I would need that more as a professional. Like I hope that becomes a standard eventually, because like they can't put on the show without us. And like a lot of the times we're like buying into these tournaments, and sure there's like a promise of like, okay, like $100 buy-in, winner take all, but like the reality is like if none of those other guys showed up, there's no show. Like you should be paying them or at least like covering the entrance fee and like paying the prize money. I feel like my path is to get onto shows that will pay me a show like whatever, like a show fee, and then
like a win bonus.
Yeah, like and then win bonuses and stuff like that. But like it's asking a lot for a sport that's so young still. Like it's almost like I almost accept my fate where I mean I'm gonna try whatever way I can to make money, like whether it's like building a brand like Fort Stringers, or like doing seminars, or like whatever, hopping into whatever tournaments I can. But the reality is I don't know if there's too much money. I mean, I feel like Gordon set the blueprint for it, but it takes like a lot of accolades without like having a gym. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to make this like a living, you know?
Yeah, because that's the other thing. You could either be, I'm going to be a legit grappler, professional grappler, and try to make it like that, or you open up a school. But then that's a completely different like mindset, because then it's more like you have to learn how to run a business.
Yeah.
How good you are doesn't really matter.
Exactly. You almost have to not be, you have to like
put more emphasis on.
Yeah, you almost have to stop competing so you can focus on that, because
that's
then
ironic.
If you're doing both at the same time, you're not putting 100% into either one, I think.
Yeah, and it's same thing with like even like opening up Fort Stringers and stuff like that. It's like I would love to do it, but it takes away so much energy sometimes, and like mental like energy, that I can't like focus on like getting better at jiu-jitsu, which is ultimately the goal. And you almost have to like, you're constantly deciding like, oh, like once you find something new, like a new opportunity, sometimes it feels like, oh, like there's this new opportunity, but what's the real goal? Like my real goal is to be one of the best in the world at jiu-jitsu, as opposed to like, I mean, I would sacrifice everything. I'm already doing that in order to try to achieve that. And so like, I don't know, the promise of money, it almost doesn't even like, I'm just trying. The main goal is to be the best in the world. And I think that path might not make me the most money, but hopefully it pans out eventually. I don't know. Just whatever I put into the sport seems to come back. So
that's for me in fighting. Like when I started, I was like, that was before there was even like girls in the UFC. When I started competing in MMA, and they were like, Ronda Rousey was like fighting in Strikeforce, but I wasn't like, oh, like that wasn't even my weight class. It was like such a random thing, but I was still like pursuing it. And I was like, I don't really know. I'm gonna, like, my parents made me go to college. I went to college, and then I was like, all right, like I want to do this, but I need to pay my bills. So I was like, I'll bartend at night and then do this until I'm like 25. And then if I'm pro, and then we'll go from there. If I'm not pro, I'll just get a real job, and then I'll just train for fun, like at night. And then at 25, I went pro. And for me, it was kind of like I got super lucky with the timing. As soon as I went pro, then they started adding, then they had 2 divisions in the UFC. So like, I feel like in the beginning, I was kind of like where you are, where you're like, oh, I don't care. I'm just going to do it because I like it and I enjoy it. But I was like, I can just get a job, something, at least I have enough money to pay my bills and I can pursue this. And it like, I got kind of lucky with timing because it worked out. There were some girls that I had trained with that were maybe like 8 years older than me, and they just missed it. You know what I mean? Like they were maybe like in their late 30s when it started getting in the UFC, and they're like, oh, I just kind of missed it. That's gotta suck. That's probably what's gonna like happen to you.
No, you know what? I feel like more like it's happening now. Like what you're saying happened to you is like happening to me now, because
I think so too.
You could do jiu-jitsu longer too.
Yeah, and plus like I'm already getting invited onto like these big shows or whatever. Like, not for nothing, like I feel like I've been failing forward. Like a lot of my career has just been like throwing myself into the fire of competition, and then whatever happens. Just like try to perform and put on a good show, and then like the right people notice. It's like putting on a fucking showcase for people, because like then the right promoters see it, and then they're like, yo, we want to have this guy on. He's a weirdo. Like he has a captain's hat. Whatever. Let's put him on the show. Let's give him some money for it. Like I don't know. Like
because people like you. It's still like. You know,
it's like anything. If you're charismatic, I mean, look at I mean, I really like him, but like Cool Rack, like no, I mean, seriously, I mean, he's like a personality. Like, I mean, he's not super like
high level,
super high level, but he's
fun
kind
to
of
watch.
getting well known, and people like now you have a good personality and you're really good.
Yeah.
So there is definitely an avenue for you to probably blow up there.
You know, we all did that like reality show or whatever together. I didn't get on the house, but like I did spend a couple of days with the guys, and like it was so funny. Like the first thing, because like they have cameras all around us and shit.
And Flow Grappling is putting this on.
Yeah. Flow Grappling put this on for us, and they have cameras all around us and shit. So like to like other people, they don't know what the fuck Flow Grappling is. We could just say whatever, you know, like we're like, oh, we're in a movie or whatever. So
like when you're out in public.
Yeah, when we're out in public. So he's like, so we're like standing around like waiting for the van, and he'll be like, hey girls, we're in a movie. Like you want to meet some movie
That's
stars?
like his favorite. That's,
he's like, yo,
so
it was
confident
so funny.
too.
And then like from what the other guys told me, he met a couple girls, like, cause like they split our group into two groups at one time, and then they're like that. He went up to a couple girls, and then he was like, "Guys, call me the sex machine." And he's
and they obviously did.
So
it.
like, well, the fellas like they were like, "Yo, sex machine, get back here!" And he's like, tell the girls like, "See, I told you, they call me the sex machine."
He's insane.
Yeah, you have to have like
that,
a little thing though. Like even like what started that captain's hat? Why is that a thing?
Oh my god, I don't know. I went to Texas with all the dudes from Sarah's and like the competition team, my girl, and we go to like a thrift shop because she likes going to thrift shops, and I just saw a captain's hat there, and I tried it on, and I'm like, why does this fits great? I'm like, I don't know. This
nice.
I'm like, this is
Feels
nice.
Good.
I'm like, I don't know, babe. Like, I think I'm gonna buy this. She's like that. She's like so encouraging. She's like, do it. Like, I could have literally put like a piece of shit on my head, and she would have been like, babe, you look great.
Yeah,
like you do it, buy it. Like, she's so encouraging. So I just bought it. And then it brought a lot of attention on, I feel like there's just, I have random people just saluting me, and they're like, ahoy. And I'm like, all right, this is.
And then you've worn it the last time you competed.
I wear it all the time now. It's just.
You have to.
I'm the captain. Yeah. I have to do it. Like, I'll go up to Flo. Like, I forgot it. It was 2 events ago, and they're like, where's the hat? Like, every time, every interview, there's like, where's the hat? What happened to the hat? So I'm like, pigeonholed into a character now, but I mean, whatever, I don't care. Like, pay me, it's fine.
Yeah. That's good, because sometimes I think when that stuff happens like organically, then it's
yeah. Do you have a nickname, like a fight nickname?
I mean, Blonde Fighter.
That's good. Who gave you that? Or you
well, that's one of those things I didn't mean to. It was my Instagram name. When I was like in college, my friends like, get an Instagram. It was like when it first came out, I'm like, this is so stupid, I'll never use this thing.
Shut up.
Like, I was like, so they're like, it's like Facebook, but you just put pictures up, and I'm like, so instead of putting like a whole album, you only put one picture up. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't do it. Like, so whatever.
It's never gonna work.
So I'm like, this is never gonna work.
Like-
and then I just quick made an account. I wasn't like, I didn't put much thought into it, just because I was like, what? I need a username. I'm like, I don't even care. I'm never gonna use this thing. So I don't know. I just came up with Blonde Fighter, and then obviously Instagram became a thing.
Yeah.
And so I had it, and then I just never really changed it, and then people started calling me Blonde Fighter.
Well, Blonde Fighter's so much easier than Chikagian.
Yeah, but sometimes I think people would be like, oh, wait, I've known you for years, but I don't actually know your name. Like, they're like, I know. Like, people would say it at Henzo's all the time.
Yeah,
they're like, Blonde Fighter.
Yo, Blonde.
And then they're like, wait, what's your actual name? I'm like, Katlyn. They're like, oh,
a lot of people just, I mean, I called you just Blonde Fighter for years.
You still call me, yeah.
A lot of times I still do.
A lot of like my friends and stuff,
it's funny, like some of our friends' kids call her Blonde Fighter.
Yeah. They're like, Blonde Fighter's here.
That's like a superhero type of shit.
Yeah,
it's
like
funny because I
thing.
had
That's
it.
cool.
People would call me, but like when I was fighting, even professionally on the regional scene, they would be like, do you have a fight nickname? And every time my coach at the time would be like, Blonde Fighter. I'm like, shut up. That's not my nickname.
Yo, that's
And
so
then it
funny.
was like, I got to the UFC. I'm like, dude, everyone calls me that. I'm like, I just got to put it. And it's funny, but sometimes, I think one time, like my first or second fight in the UFC, I think Rogan was like, that's the worst nickname ever. I'm
Really?
like,
I don't think it is at all. I think
I was like, oh, there's literally like a girl named Cupcake. Like, there's 100 fighters named Savage.
There's Meatball.
Yeah,
like, come on, dude.
like
Vanderlei Silva's nickname was the Axe Murderer.
yeah. Like, they're all like, I'm like, I don't know, but
Dude,
that's just what
so
everyone
funny.
calls me. Like, I was like, but I fought it for a while. I was like, that's not my nickname. That's like so corny.
Yeah.
And like, that's not even like, I don't know. I didn't want people to think like I gave that to myself. And then everyone just kept calling me that. So I was like,
but now like the origin story's out. Like you did give it to yourself. And
yeah,
like,
technically I did, but I fought it for being like
That's
my
so
nickname. But yeah, no, it's crazy.
So what is Fourth Stringers? That's your brand. Is it like just a whole lifestyle thing, like a podcast, merchandise?
I would say so. Like it's just like it almost feels like just like a creative outlet. Like I have a creative outlet that's branded because like it's literally whatever I feel like doing I can do,
like make
with
t-shirts,
Fourth Stringers. Yeah, like
rash guards.
Like I was into streetwear for a bit. I made like some streetwear stuff. Like just I was into see, like the thing is like rash guards in jiu-jitsu, just everything in jiu-jitsu, I feel like it's so corny.
Like skulls and flames.
Well, just everything in general, like the podcasts, the gear,
I don't feel like I like totally mix well. I mean, I'm like, I guess because I'm an MMA, but like sometimes like if a gym is like too jujitsu-y, I'm like
you're not a 10th Planet girl.
No, it's like I mean, I'm not saying I have friends that train there and stuff, but I'm just like I don't really get it. Like, I'm not really into like laughing when I'm training. And I get that some people are, and that sounds like, oh, that must be fun. But I'm like, all right, if I'm like trying to like do a move on you and like I'm being serious and you just start laughing, I'm like, no, pussy, just fucking like go.
I think that's more of a girl problem. I think because like I feel like there are so many guys that do that, and like I hear like it wasn't too long ago I heard a girl complain, like, well, not complaining, but like just mention the same thing, that she hates going with a guy who like he always seems to laugh whenever she goes for a move.
And then I'm like, yeah.
And then I was like
that's like a safety net though. Because if you actually hit him with it, then it's like, I was laughing. I wasn't really trying. You know?
But you know what?
Because no high level person's really, when I train with anyone that's like good, they're not laughing.
They're not like, but I also think that some of it might be like nervous.
Yeah.
Like they're nervous. So like I want to give them sometimes like the benefit of the doubt. Because like, I don't know, there's like so many like nerdy and like socially awkward people who do jujitsu who probably don't even like have friends that are girls, and just like, you know, it's overwhelming. Like I got to do jujitsu and I got to interact with a girl and I got to like,
and it's physical,
not be awkward, like worry about being awkward,
especially if they're not very good, because then it's like I'm fucking them up.
They can't even, they're like thinking of 8 things at once. But like, you know, but to your credit, like I think there's a lot of like just people who are just like they don't even care that they're like that. They just want to be weird. Like I could see that too, but I feel like that happens to girls a lot more. And like I feel like I caught myself doing that like at white belt, where it was like almost like at the moment I did it, I realized I was doing it, and I'm like, that's disrespectful to like the girl that I'm rolling with or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
you didn't mean it to be that way, but you can see
and
that.
I'm like, oh shit, like I should like I don't do that with the fellas. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna like treat you differently.
Right.
Like, I go fucking hard with the girls sometimes.
Yeah.
Dude. Like,
sometimes if I'm not like in camp, sometimes I'll try to like avoid you.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, yo, I'm
not gonna get hurt, but I'm like, oh, I gotta be like, if I'm there, just like,
I mean, you go hard with everyone. You
I have one speed.
Yeah, you have a high speed.
And you know what the thing is like that's probably not good for my longevity. Like my body's definitely like it's taking a toll on me now. But it's been so fun to just be able. I feel like since I'm a smaller guy, like I don't think you could go balls to the wall with everybody because you're a bigger guy.
Yeah,
and
if you're
like
small, you
for me, I'm like I could be like a little fucking like honey badger, and people are like, oh hey, good job.
Yeah, and that helps your cardio, but you probably have decent cardio.
I have good cardio.
Because you go like
if you're going that hard.
Yeah.
I compete like how I train, and I go so fucking hard that like it translates really well. I start up really quickly, but like it's funny because you know like starting jiu-jitsu and stuff, like everyone wants to give you advice, like all the higher belts, and it's funny, like a lot of them don't even fucking train anymore, but everyone's always itching to give you like advice and like tell you how to do things, like it's their way or like the highway sometimes. And like I remember people telling me all the time like, yo, like you got to slow down. Like you got to slow down. Like you're doing
you made
too
him
much.
Uncomfortable.
Probably, you
For
know.
sure.
And there was one guy. His name was I mean, he still trains. James Gonzalez. He was the only one who told me. Like I remember him. He was like, you know what?
He fights MMA though, right?
Yeah. But he was very much
why.
at Sarah's like all the time,
Yeah.
and he was like one of my best training partners coming up. And he was like, yo, like all those guys telling you to slow down, just speed up, dude.
Yeah.
Like just go harder. They're like those guys. Like don't listen to them, Fabian. Like you got it. Just speed up, man. And I remember hearing that, and I know what some of the people were telling me when they were telling me to slow down. They were like, you know, use more technique, like don't spaz out. But there were some other people who were telling it to me because they were uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're like, wait, slow down, I'm getting too tired.
Yeah, they're like, this isn't how you should roll. Like, I don't know, man.
Definitely like the big old guys.
Yeah, well, it just like, I don't know, it's the ego or whatever. But like,
you can't. But that's so crazy to me. Like, you can't train have an ego and train jujitsu. That's why everyone gets along so well.
I mean, I
feel
like this sport has such an ego fucking problem. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like it presents itself in the way you grapple, though. Like, if you're somebody who never puts himself or allows himself to go into bad position, I feel like those kinds of people have, like, a crazy ego sometimes where, like, they don't even, like, play with the idea of getting tapped. So, like, when it happens, those people get hurt because they don't want to tap. So, like, someone like me, like, I get fucked up. I get humbled every time I go to a class because I got Jason and like my other training partners really fucked me up. So like I don't have that. It's like beaten out of me. Like I can't. I'll tap to whatever. But like I feel like a lot of these people, yeah, they just it's hard.
I think that happened at like from training at because I trained like for years before I started going to Henzo's. But at Henzo's, there's just too many people in the room where it's like you can't be the best in the room.
Yeah.
Like, so
if you're the best in the room, you're the best in the world.
Yeah. So it's like I was so used to like, and especially like I was so used to like getting beat by people. Like I've been training longer than them, and then all of a sudden, like before any gym I went to, I was the best girl for sure. Sometimes the only girl, but no other girl could even like kind of. And then I would go and I'd be like, wait, this girl's only been training 2 years and she just submitted me. I'm like, no, that doesn't happen. This is like years ago.
Yeah, that's so
and then
funny.
all of a sudden,
doesn't happen.
I was like, wait, do I suck? I'm like, well, that girl's got to be the best. And then she's a regular girl like that trains. And now,
so funny.
I think that how people measure how long someone has trained jiu-jitsu is so flawed.
Yeah.
Because people always mention it in terms of years. Like how many years have you been training?
Yeah.
But if you train for like 10 years and you train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is kind of a lot.
At a shitty
3 days
gym.
a week.
Yeah.
Like that's 3 workouts a week.
Yeah.
There's lots of people who do 2 days, twice a day, 7 days a week. That's 14. So that's like
and it depends where
it's
you're
4
training.
times. It's 4 times as many in 1 week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 4 times as
So
many.
it'd be like
workouts.
So your 10 years
So
is like my 2 year, like
right.
2.5 years.
It's all about how often you're training, not how like
and
the
I think
longevity.
like I technically have been training jiu-jitsu for years. Like I did Naga tournaments when I was like 12.
Dude, that's
But,
crazy.
like, I mean, I knew a couple moves. Like it wasn't like training consistently. Like I was training like grappling, like, but it was like more like armbar, this, that. Now, like right away, people are learning like they're not wasting time. They're learning good shit right away.
Like the systems. And stuff,
like that. So now it's like it was totally different then. Like then I got to a point where I realized I'm like, oh well, this person's only been training years, but they're good. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, well, especially back then, like I don't even know how you were even. Like how your teachers were learning, because like I feel like jiu-jitsu wasn't even anywhere.
And I didn't go to like a Brazil, like I trained at like Tiger Schulman, so there was no like Brazilians there, like that. Like usually, I think back in the day there would be like, oh, one guy from Brazil like
and this
came
is like 20 years ago.
That came and trained and then showed some moves, but there was just like I don't even know how like the instructors learned it.
Yeah. Tiger Schulman's I feel like just started getting like within the past like 6 years, like some legit like grapplers coming out of there and stuff. That
I think because they branch out and bring other people in, and then they can train with other people too.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's crazy.
So the fourth stringers, we got way off that, but your idea with that is to make jiu-jitsu, like put it more a cooler light on it.
Yeah, like
cooler spin.
So I feel like it comes from like the urge, like, okay, in high school, I feel like I wasn't like the nicest person. So like I would see like I don't know, like someone you would consider like a herb. Like I feel like it's almost like the urge to like bully or like I'm like this is like too like how I cannot in good conscience like let this continue, like whatever's happening with these other podcasts and stuff, like I cannot like just let this be the media representation of the sport that I love so much that like I'm like I have to like deherbify what I can with what I have. And I remember like that being such a focus of like mine of like, okay, like let me put out a cool podcast of like actual competitors who like are in the room with the best in the world. And that was the whole idea of Fourth Stringers, is like we're not the best, but we train with some of the best in the world. We're like actively in the room, and like we might not be second string or third string, but we're like fourth stringers. We're making our way. We're in the room with them. We'll we'll always do our best, but like we might not be the best, but we're there, So that was the whole idea.
You're doing the same things.
I'm doing the same things.
Isn't it crazy because you've been we talk about this a lot, because you've been around like the best in the world, like 90% of the gyms you're the best guy. You go in but knowing what Gordon is or Gary, like guys like that, then it gives you that perspective to be like, I got a long way to go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are still like,
they're
blind.
Like, oh, well,
if you're the best, like locally,
they're like, if you show up, you're 100% on that day, you can beat them. It's
the
like,
best
no,
in the world.
not really.
You
can't.
They don't even know.
Maybe fighting, MMA, maybe, because you could like land a shot or something, but like jiu-jitsu, like for the most part, the better person wins, right?
Yeah.
Most part, yeah.
What were you just saying? I had like a thought about
the knowing that you've been in a room with all the best people. It gives you perspective, and then it's sort of like it's a good thing, but then it's also kind of like makes you like almost. It could be a little negative too, because you're like, "Fuck, I'm so far off."
But I think that it's really good because so there's like this thing that happened with like this is like a great story for like athletes to like break like limits or whatever. There was like this thing where you could not run faster than a 4-minute mile for the longest time. Have you guys like said that on this podcast?
No.
So for the longest time, I think it was like the world record was like over a 4-minute mile. So there was this guy who like he trained to beat that, but nobody had ever done it before. And like I believe the story was that like he would have somebody fresh run a 1/4 mile next to him every time. Like so he would do a 1/4 mile. A new runner would come in and he would try to match their pace. So like he's matching the pace of somebody fresh. He's booking it, and he eventually breaks the 4-minute mile. But as soon as he breaks it, it happens globally. You know, so like once you see the
human potential,
it's like it's human potential. Once I see that the person next to me can do this, like the they're human. They're somebody that I know. Like it can't just be like it's not impossible anymore. So like that's why competing for me is like important too, because like I have like lower belts like Zane like has been following my career for like I don't even know how long I've been training with him, but he's seen me like start like I don't know like from purple belt, just like working my way up, like I said, like failing forward, and it's just like a crazy journey for like to show them. I just want to inspire them through what I'm doing, and I feel like this is like the best way to do it, is to just keep competing and all that. I lost my train of thought though.
That makes perfect sense to me.
And like so like I feel like if he sees that I could do it, and like I could be on Who's Number One, and I could be on some of the biggest cards on the like in the grappling world right now, like then he could do it because he sees he's right there next to me training,
doing the same stuff.
He's doing the same shit. Like I'm a real person. He's gotten sweeps off on me. Like there's like I'm if I could do it, you could do it, and then. If you could do it, I could definitely fucking do it then. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I think that's the whole like a good gym or any good program, you get better like through osmosis, just by being around people.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get better.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like, I always think, I don't know if it's from like the Henzo basement, like when I first started like getting into jiu-jitsu, it's kind of there. So I've never considered like gyms that are really like concerned with belts, like belts and rankings like that. I think that's more just like a local gym.
Because that like a karate, taekwondo gym.
Gyms, it seems like nobody even knows what anyone's belt is. It's either you're good or you're not.
You're
either really good and
point.
you compete all the time. Because at other places, we're like, well, it's just like attendance. If he's been coming 8 years, then he's a brown belt.
Yeah.
10 years, now he's a black belt.
Yeah.
It's like someone
a lot of gyms are like that.
Yeah, I remember one time a girl asked me like, what belt are you? And I'm like, it was like after we trained, I'm like, brown. They're like, when did you get your brown belt? I'm like, I don't know, like a long time ago.
8 years ago.
Okay, well that's why I'm like, no. It's
either you're good.
It's not because I'm a brown belt. It's because I'm just better than you.
Yeah, that's
like,
but you don't put any stock in someone's belt.
You know, the thing that the belt will like tell me. There's a couple things that the belt tells me. Like when I visit another gym, it's like 1, the belt should tell me that you're competent. And 2, the belt tells me if like I'm allowed to heel hook you. So like you know,
or I know how hard I can go on.
Yeah. So like you know, like maybe there's a good white belt, but he doesn't understand what heel hooks are. So like as good as he is, like I'm not gonna do like heel hooks to him. But like if there's somebody like a purple belt, like I'm gonna put it on you. I'm gonna use all the fucking moves. Like I feel like that's an important like indicator for me. So like, and then like also like what to expect. Like I would say like anybody like purple and up, I should be able to not get elbowed in the face. So that's like really what I'm like, you know, that's what I'm looking for.
I do privates with this one guy, and he like pokes me in the eye and like lands his knee on my foot like 3 or 4 times like in like the hour session.
Yeah,
like my toes are like the blood blisters on the toenail. It just goes like knee on toe, knee on toe.
Yeah,
I just had to grind through it.
Yeah,
you just gotta.
Do you teach privates?
No, I'm gonna start doing that now, because I feel like I've grown my like self and my brand, and like I'm way more confident, especially now, like to teach things and stuff. I just it's really hard, I feel like, to teach privates, especially like I don't like live right next to the gym, so
it's
like
tough if you're not at one gym all the time. It's tough.
Yeah, so like I have to make the time for it, because this is what I want to do, and like I think
if you just do a couple a week, like you say I'm gonna do 5 a week. You know,
dude, I just need to drum up the support, or like the customer base to do that, because like
it's a good way to make a living, kind of, when you're training. I think it takes an hour, like 1 hour, like, and you do like 1 a day.
Especially like Long Island, it's like private lessons are like in the culture here.
Yeah,
like when I train in Jersey, like people pay, and like private lessons, any sport, activity, anything, people Long Island like pay for your time.
Wow.
Like in Jersey, that's not really like that. Like anyone there can do privates with like pretty much any like fighters and stuff, and they just don't do it because they're like not paying. They're like, this is my membership and that's it.
Where I grew up in like Buffalo, I'm from Buffalo, New York. And Gregor will talk about this too. Like he'll be home, and like a wrestling coach or like a father of a wrestler will be like, oh, I saw you're in town. I'd love for you to work with my son, and I'll even pay you if I have to. I'll even pay you. Like, wait, what? But that's like
but
a
that's
thing.
The culture
that's
there.
Helping out.
Yeah, here like people
for the love of the sport.
Here, like even for like wrestling, he'll have like parents come up and they're like, my kid's 5. Can you do them? He's like, well, like.
What's he gonna learn?
He's like, he's just having like wrestle, or you know. But parents here, they like want to pay for the privates.
Well, like at that age, it's like hiring like a brain surgeon to like cut up your steak.
Yeah. I mean, that is so young. Yeah, but it's crazy. So many parents are like, I want to get my kid into wrestling. Can he do privates with you? Like, wait.
Yo, I've been getting like some of my high school friends will be like, because like they're having kids or whatever, they'll be like, yo, how young could I put my kid in? I'm like, yo, I don't want nothing to do with your fucking kid,
Yeah,
right? Like, I don't.
Jiu-jitsu is hard to teach kids.
I would so much rather teach kids striking than jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like, striking is so much more, like, I feel like natural.
You have a striking background?
Yeah, I mean, I did striking for like a year or two, but I feel like the basics are so easy.
You didn't want to get into MMA?
So I tried to, and you know Pombos? He's out of law. But
maybe if I saw him.
So they have like 2 Greek fighters. He's like yeah. So I got into MMA for a bit, and I went to Thailand, and I did striking, and it was a lot of fun. I had so much fucking fun. But then like we were doing small glove sparring, and every Thursday was like small glove sparring at law, and it was like kind of like unsupervised, and they would just let whoever go with whoever.
They were like going crazy.
And this is me 2 months in. And I didn't know that this is like not normal.
Yeah. Well, how would you?
I didn't know. Yeah.
You're just like, oh, be tougher.
And I was I feel like I wasn't even doing MMA. I was just doing jiu-jitsu with punches.
Right.
Because like I would throw an overhand right, step in for the single leg, and just either drag myself down or drag them down.
And you're like, okay, now we're here.
We're doing jiu-jitsu now, baby. Like, I don't give a fuck about, like, you're not allowed to ground and pound me, and like this is fun for me now, you know? So, but from what I remember in the round, I like took him down like twice, and then like the round was about to end, and here I go doing the same fucking thing again, and he hits me with an uppercut. So like my nose was like sideways. And like he
definitely no headgear.
Yeah, no headgear. I didn't even. No. Actually, I did have headgear.
Okay.
I did have headgear, but it was like square in the nose.
Yeah, no, you definitely still get hit.
And he was like, "Oh shit!" Like the way he looked at my face after it happened, bad. He was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "What happened? You didn't break my nose, did you?" And he was like, "I think I broke it." I'm like, "Oh my god."
So that was.
So after that, like I mean, I had to like reset my nose in the bathroom. There was blood everywhere. This is my first time breaking my nose, and I'm like
my biggest fear.
And what? Really?
Breaking my nose.
Really?
Oh my god.
So I feel like I talk to people and they're like, yeah, I've broken my nose. Like
I think I have like a squishy nose, so I think I'm good. Like
the cartilage.
Yeah, like my nose is like kind of like soft, so I think it depends. Like some people have like a pointy nose. Or
I
like
have
skinny.
a schnoz, dude.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure I've broken my nose before.
You've probably broken your nose. Yeah. But see, some guys are just like, yeah, I've broken my nose.
No, but not like terrible. But
some you can get like a fracture where it's like or like you could do that.
So then that was kind of why.
So like I mean like I was like traumatized, and I was like, I don't know, I don't want to do MMA. And now that I think about it though, it was so fucking fun, and the cardio benefit I got from it was so fun that like I wish there was a more organized MMA program that I could join or could have joined, because it was a lot of fun, and I had like the gas tank and like the style I feel like for it. So
you're like super scrambly.
And it was a lot of fun for me. Like that's the main thing, is like I was having so much fucking fun like doing it, but it was like I really wanted to like do jiu-jitsu professionally, and I'm like I would do MMA for fun and like maybe do some amateur fights, but like then like I might be like taking like it was such it was such like a wake up call. Like I just broke my nose. I could
now you can't like compete.
It could be worse, you know. But you know what ended up happening was I broke my nose and I put on like it almost like a fencing mask. So like the day after, 2 days after, I was already back on the mats.
Oh wow.
And like it was fucking, I mean, like I reset my nose myself, and then I went to the doctor, and they're like, "You did a great job."
You did a great job.
Like, yeah. You're like, so well, maybe I should change profession.
They're like, They're like, "You want me to try some more?"
You were probably
like,
there.
Yeah.
They were probably ready.
You did a great job.
You probably got there at the end of their shift, and they wanted to get. They probably wanted to get out of there.
You're fine. Yeah. No, but shout out New York State Insurance. You know they give you like free insurance.
Who does?
The state. The state. I don't know if you guys knew that. Yeah, like to all the like fighters or like jiu-jitsu people, like New York State gives you free insurance, especially if like you're not like claiming too much money on the books or whatever the fuck.
I was like, wait, I think there's a little bit more to
like,
it.
Well, I mean, all the jiu-jitsu people are gonna be fucking broke anyway. I feel like they're gonna qualify for the fucking. I'm just telling you guys,
you just gotta fill out the forms.
Yeah, just fill out the forms.
Which could be really tougher a lot.
I mean, oh my God, dude, there's people who make their entire living on just filling out forms.
It's
and
so easy.
Oh, if you apply for this type of assistant, this type of relief.
Yeah.
There's people I would think that I wouldn't make a dime doing that because I'm terrible at filling out.
Yeah. You don't open mail.
Opening mail and sending in forms. I wouldn't make a dime, but I have my cousin, my mom's sisters, their whole life they just do stuff like that. Oh, it's free. Awesome. It's free. They get houses, everything.
Yo,
free,
what?
Free. No, like housing. Yeah.
Yo, see, my dad, same shit. He's like, yo, there's a no interest loan that I could get. Could you get it for me? I'm like, he's like, yeah, all right, cool. I just got $30,000 for that. I'm like,
I'm always like, am I dumb? Like, how do you know about? How do people know about
Yo,
this?
I don't know how. Like, they just like newsletters basically.
I heard this guy during COVID. They gave, if your kids go to a public school in New York, New York City, during COVID, because kids get free lunch, they didn't have school for a while.
So you got
every single kid, their parents got food stamps. You could be like a brain surgeon, a professional athlete, crazy rich.
That's awesome.
But you got like food stamps for every
because
student.
technically those lunches are free and they're not getting it.
Yeah.
That's
how insane
wild.
is that?
That's crazy.
How do you feel about that stuff?
I mean, like, yo, honestly,
are you socialist?
I mean, like, see, because I'm so biased, I'm the one getting the damn help.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are the ones paying. Like, hey, thank you guys for the insurance.
Are you socialist? Would you say?
Yo, honestly, I don't put enough like thought into it to like really say like, oh, I'm socialist.
You just want
I'm just like
you're living in today.
I'm living in like I haven't put any like real stock into like, oh, am I a communist or am I this or am that? I'm like, I'm enjoying capitalism right now. That's what's going on. So I don't know. What about you? Like, do you have like a strong opinion on that?
Kind of, yeah. But I don't hold if whatever you're into.
No, but I would love to hear.
No, I believe in like free market capitalism, like free market, like total capitalism, like everything based on like if it's the best thing. You know, so anything that's bad, like you could be like a racist business. I think that they should be able to do that, but no one would go there. I wouldn't go to a place. So like
the market decides.
The market decides what is priced, and like I don't think there should be minimum wage. I think like
just nobody would work there if
no one would work there, right? Like if someone's willing to do it and they can't get a job doing something else.
But what about monopolies?
Monopolies?
Yeah, like they're breaking up like big businesses like Amazon or whatever. Like they'll break them up, or like the most famous one I think is like the telephone company that like they forced them. Because there was only 2 telephone companies in New York for a while, and then they forced them to break up and be like other communications things. So like, if you just believed in like free market capitalism, you don't believe in government intervention.
I don't.
Like that.
Yeah.
So like
I guess I would be okay.
What ends up happening is like there's monopolies that come to light, and then like we don't have a choice other than to purchase stuff from them because like. I need
someone
internet.
else could open up that,
but
support
make a better one.
The thing is,
small businesses.
You can't like, let's say like the telephone lines. I can't build more telephone lines.
Right.
I can't start the network is already created, and if the government didn't force them to share the network with like everyone else, then there would just be a monopoly, and you like certain people just wouldn't even be able to like fathom affording internet. Where like now that's becoming like. People would argue like a basic human right, like to be a part of the internet.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it should be. At this point,
I think so too. Yeah. And but like in a free market, like I just off the top of my head, I'd be like, okay, well, if that's okay with you, then like these monopolies, like that you're not in favor of like busting up these monopolies, then because that's not free market.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I mean, I don't really like government subsidies or anything like that.
So like me getting.
Well, it doesn't matter. I know
me getting health insurance though.
No, I don't.
You're like I don't like
you.
that shit.
I don't hold that against. No. I think it's good to take advantage of because it's there.
Because if you don't, someone else is
someone
else.
Yeah. If it's there, you should be taking
Dude,
advantage.
Listen,
of
I would be like a welfare queen or whatever. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, dude? I'd be paying for everything with my EBT stamps. I'd be dude, get
you just don't know how to fill out the forms.
All you gotta do is fill out the forms.
I'm gonna fill out the forms. This is what's gonna happen. So like, I understand.
I think you should do it. I think you definitely should. I just don't like that I wish it wasn't there.
But
if it's there, you should definitely take it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think like I should be doing it. If not to benefit my own life, to teach you guys a lesson. Like, this is what happens when you do this. You're like gaming the system, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if there was a way to like control to make sure, like, obviously in a perfect world, like, because there are people that abuse it, but then there are people that need it. So it's like, but it's too hard to control it.
Where would you guys live if you had to live somewhere else other than the United States?
Other than the United States?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not many other places I'd probably want to live.
You wouldn't go anywhere else?
I don't know. I don't know.
Damn, you guys are some straight Americans.
No, it's not that. I just don't know a lot.
I don't know. Do other places like women?
No, like I think like Italy.
Can I drive in these
Italy is probably pretty nice.
Yeah,
I like stuff in the Caribbean, like St. Martin.
The Caribbean,
cool.
Bahaman.
No, not Bahamas.
St. Martin's really
St.
nice.
Martin is very nice.
Like
and they have a jiu-jitsu gym.
Yeah.
And they have a jiu-jitsu gym there.
Yeah, there's Henzo Grace St. Martin.
St. Martin. Yeah. I've heard of them.
Yeah.
We've trained there a few times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could live there for sure.
Yeah, I could live there.
There's good food, good training.
Like, those people who like start like gyms, I'm like,
they're like all French there.
But I feel like they're so weird a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just full. Like island people are weirdos a lot of the time. Like especially like. They're
definitely hanging out more than training. Like they're not. The intensity's not there as much.
Like you're weird for training hard there.
But I think there's a lot of like transient people. Like people will be there for like spending like a month for the summer or something, and they join. I don't think there's a huge core group.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a lot of like turnover.
That's why I feel like I don't know. I wonder
where would you want to live. Thailand?
Probably Thailand. No. Thailand was so fun when I went. Like that was a lot of fun, and I would love to go. Cheap male, female hookers. Like, dude, they're so funny. Like they'll like try to grab you, and like their hands are bigger than mine. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like
I thought they're tiny people.
No, like it's funny that you say that you thought they're tiny people. All the tall people get the surgery over there. Anyone
Why is it that like I've never been to Thailand? Is it like a stereotype or is like
no, it's because it's like so trans? Accepted. It's so like it's such like a like
they were ahead of the curve on
that.
Yeah,
in some terms they're a very like forward thinking culture.
Gotcha.
So it's very like accepted for like a man to just like to trans up and
it's not like weird at all.
And they
could be straight, but they're still doing
literally
that.
Like you'll just see like a trans person working at McDonald's. You know, just like I don't know, like giving people like it's just very normalized there. And then it's so funny. Like my friend's on Tinder and he's like swiping and the girls' profiles are like no, not ladyboy.
Not lady, yeah, because they're like, oh, everyone probably thinks I am,
yeah, and like he would get a match, and like the girl,
sometimes it'll say T girl,
T girl,
that's sneaky.
Is that like trans girl?
Yeah,
T girl, yeah, she's a T girl.
So he fucking like, anytime he would get a match, and like
they have to tell you right up before you like.
Well,
if you get, like,
it's obvious because like the girl's way out of his league. I'm like, that's a dude. That's
she's way too hot. It's definitely a dude.
That's a guy, and then it'll be like, every time I'm right.
Like, how do you know?
I'm like, brother, like let me see, like. You're an adjustable 3, brother. Like I don't know.
What's an adjustable 3?
Like you're a 3, but like if you do yourself up, you could be like a 5 or something like that. You know what I mean?
What are you?
I would say I'm an adjustable 3. I'm an adjustable 3. Yeah, no, I'm taking everything into account.
3 is insane, man.
I'm adjustable 3. I'm just being a realist.
Like no,
you're probably like I would say like you're an adjustable like 5.
Are you
adjustable,
crazy?
dude? Adjustable.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, you're tall, but like, I don't know.
Wait,
what do you think you are? What do you
9.
think you are? Dude, I asked this. I put this on my like Instagram story, and the answers were the funniest thing I've ever heard.
You asked me what they thought.
I was like, rate yourself 1 out of 10. You can't use 7.
Yeah.
And this was back when like Kevin Samuels was like a big thing. Like he would like ask women like, what are you? 1 out of 10. Fresh out the shower, like fresh face, no makeup. Can't use 7. And like,
and this is all just based off of looks.
No. Well, a lot of the time, yeah, but like,
yeah.
But like, if you say something and then like he'll start taking everything into account,
yeah,
and then he's like, "This is what you really are."
Okay.
But like, so I remember saying it, and the answers were so fucking funny because like the UFC fighters that were on my like story or whatever. I remember Favola, he's like, "I'm an adjustable too." And he's like, yeah.
No, below 5
and like
is like
Pumi too. Pumi's like, yeah, I'm like a 2.5, maybe.
No.
Yo, you got it.
Below 5
be
is
real with yourself.
like the average looking person. Like, you think that you're not better looking than the average looking person? Like,
I don't got as much going for me than
put it
the
this way.
average
So
looking
I mean, I
person.
think if you like shaved, it would be a lot.
So if you're
like,
2,
you're like, I feel like you're like trying to be lower.
No,
You're
I'm actively
actively trying to like lower
no,
your number.
I look
I'm
at
not.
it like this.
All right.
This is how I look at it.
Yeah,
So if you're a 3
yeah,
out of 10,
yeah.
so that means you're at the 30th,
Lower.
30th percentile.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have a room full of 100 people, you think that 70 would be better than
I'm
you?
lining up at the front.
You think 70 would be better?
70%.
Because that's what that means.
Yeah.
You know?
So I haven't put it in terms like that, but like,
if I'm in a
loves
room with
numbers.
100,
Kyle loves numbers.
Yeah.
if I'm in a room with 100 random people,
I'm
that you
shorter
take
than all
out-
of them.
If you take out 100 random people, I'm in the 90th percentile.
Wow,
100%.
this is arguing for a 9.
No, I mean,
You're always the
definitely.
hottest one in the room.
No, when we went, like today, we were at that concert.
Yeah.
It was like a
Yeah,
fucking
my God.
horror movie.
Yeah.
Like,
What concert
everyone,
you go
no,
to?
it's just like a local band. But
It was like a
Gilgo
band playing at the beach. It wasn't like, that's
Not
when
a
you said
concert,
concert. I
but-
was like,
But like everyone there, it looked like, I was like, oh my God, like, why do we live here? Look at these people. They're
Yeah.
like monsters.
it was all like South Shore, like all, and like all like everyone was like,
Burnt, shitty, fake,
Like,
faded tattoos.
they were all
That's
older too.
great.
It was like an
Yeah,
older
yeah,
crowd,
yeah.
so it was all they were all like wasted. Like I was like, man, and all of a sudden like, and I had just smoked before, so I was like, look around, like everyone here just loves to get wasted.
What-
I'm
what
like
are
for
you?
years.
What are you?
1 out of 10, you can't use 7.
I guess like a 6.
I knew she would say a 7.
You think that
Every girl
okay,
says
room
a
full of
six.
100 people,
Every girl says a 6.
100
I'm saying
girls.
just based off of like just looks. If you put like
Just
my
looks.
personality and like my achievements and stuff in there, I'm a 10.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
sure.
like
achievement.
literally like
You know what? I'm the number 2.
cool.
Like,
I'm cool. I make money. I'm funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got my shit together somewhat.
For
Like,
sure.
but just don't put me in a lineup without
Yeah.
saying that.
Yeah.
Without
No, but
mentioning
still,
that.
you
but just
think even
look.
looks?
I mean, like
You
looks
think
like.
that in 100 people, 40
I guess
are
fresh
better?
out of the shower. If every girl's fresh out of the shower,
Yeah.
then I'm
Yeah.
an 8. Because I'm thinking of like
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. That's
fresh
the
out,
confidence.
everyone's fresh out of the shower.
Oh my God, that's so
I don't
funny.
know, like girls when they're all done up. Like if you look at Instagram pictures,
They're so fake.
but then
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm not a 10. They're a 10.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's
Well,
like,
but
Well,
the filters
yeah.
alone.
The,
are
Yeah,
insane
yeah.
now.
It would
They're
be
like
funny because
holograms.
like Kevin Samuels would be like girls would be like, I'm a 9, I'm a 10, and he's like, listen, Beyonce's a 10,
Mhm.
and he's like, you think you're a
yeah. But Beyonce probably looks good without like.
Well, that's
makeup
why
on,
you can't
too.
say. That's why, like, I wouldn't ever like a 10 is that's the pinnacle, right?
Yeah.
So the difference between a 9 and 10 is pretty vast.
Yes, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's a big.
So
difference.
you could put a point and then give
Yeah,
a
exactly.
little decimal on top
That's
of
why
that
I
if
mean
you
I'm
want.
confidently say a 9.
Yeah.
Because I think of it as 100 random people.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
have to be
If
better.
they know,
There's
yeah,
not
I guess
more than 10.
I'm gonna go.
better.
I'm gonna put myself back up to an 8, even if you don't know my
strong
personality.
8. A strong 8.
Because if every girl is no makeup,
Yeah.
because like you know what I mean. Like if you go to a regular gym, like girls have like full face of makeup
Dude,
and
it's
they do their hair to the gym. Like I'm used to training jiu-jitsu. You can't do that.
Wait, yo.
So I'm used to being in a room full of like guys that see me like when I look so fucking like you can't
at your
look
most natural.
You can't look worse than after like training jujitsu.
Yeah. You know what's
what
so
are
funny?
You, Zane?
Yeah. Zane's a 1.
Zane,
Zane's a week
Do you
1.
think there's 90 people out of 100? Oh, that's crazy.
Whatever.
That's good.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's
no,
immature.
yeah, that's called being humble.
Kyle goes, that's immature.
Yo, so one thing though about you, like I don't know if any other fucking guest has mentioned this, but like I've trained with you so many fucking times, Blonde, that like this has to be said in public. Like your nails are the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
They actually look so like lame right now.
Like right now they're fine,
Yeah.
but like you will come in with these like Catwoman fucking claws.
They bother you so bad.
Well, it's not that they. It's
It
like
Does she scratch you?
It's
No.
scary. No,
No.
she doesn't. She
No.
doesn't. She doesn't.
No,
ever.
they're
that's the
dull
She
because they're
has
like thick.
literally never scratched me once.
Yeah,
but
I bet I guarantee you, like you probably scratch me more.
I've probably
Toenails.
Probably.
Do you use fingernail clippers?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What? Like what? What do you think I
Well,
do?
I don't know,
Like,
some people like bite
grind
their
my
nails.
fucking-
Bite their nails.
He's probably. I feel like I've seen you clip at the gym.
I clip constantly at
That's
the gym.
so gross
It's
to me.
I'm gross. I'm not coming onto this podcast lying. I'm a gross person. All right, like I clip my nails at the gym. I would do it in the parking lot if I could.
Parking
like,
lot's
I
better
don't
than
even
in
think
the
that's
gym.
gross. Why is that gross?
I just think it's gross. Like I've seen at gyms where they have like
Oh,
they
share
go in like the desk, pull out the drawer, grab
That's
nail
me.
clippers, and start clipping like
That's me.
over like a little tiny like trash can. Like all those nail clippings are
The nail clippings go
Yeah.
all over.
Shoot over.
And
And
I'm
I'm
just
like-
doing it as like
I'm
courtesy.
like, yo, like you
So
can't
like,
do that
if
at
someone
home.
has if someone comes in and like you're gonna work and he's like, oh, I can't go today because I got ringworm. Are you saying, oh, good, don't go, or do you care if to roll with someone who's ringworm or not?
I don't. You know what? Like if
Be
they're
honest.
if
Be
they're
honest.
if they're mentioning it, I'll be like, all right. Like, but like a lot of the times, like if somebody's like competing or whatever, like I'll be like, it's all right, just cover it up. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I don't tell anyone. I don't even tell
care at
Kyle.
all.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
You're
care at
such
all.
a-
Because I don't care about it so
Such
much
a
that
freak.
that it doesn't even. I could have like a full blown ringworm on my arm, and the thought of like even mentioning it in conversation to Kyle doesn't even come out because that's how like much I don't
You
care
I
care
about
don't
about
even
it.
get it though. Like I wouldn't get it. Like I would because I feel like I've
Yeah, I
been
don't
on
really
the
get
mat
it.
so much.
see, that's
that
the difference.
I
Is
won't
like it
get
just
it.
you don't get it, but
I get
like,
staff. I don't get.
but
ringworm.
see, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I'll
staff
get-
is serious. Staff, I won't. You don't want to fuck with staff.
But yeah, I have like I get staff. I don't really get ringworm, but I get staff. But I don't. The thought of not training, I'll put a long sleeve
the
on.
staff. Okay, like staff.
I cover it.
I feel like
You
It's
should.
never
nobody-
open.
You
wound.
shouldn't train with staff.
Yeah,
for
you shouldn't
sure.
train with staff, but like everyone at our gym
But sometimes
is so like it's so crazy because
people
it'll be
have
like
staff every week. I'm like, yo, you literally have
Everyone
a pimple. You don't have staff. Like, I'll say I have staff. Like, if it gets like, I'm like, you just
Yeah,
don't
but-
want to train and you want to like sound cool. Like, I got staff. I'm like, then why are you sitting on the mat? Like,
it's so funny.
you don't have staff. You literally have like a razor burn.
So I feel like if you have staff, you shouldn't train. But like I feel like at our gym, there's like a culture of it's like if you took like antibiotics for like 2 or 3 days,
if you one
there-
pill, you're good.
People are like, nah, I've been on antibiotics. Like it's dead already. And like they just have like a scabbed up hole in the side of their leg, and you're like, and they're like, yeah, it's dead. Look, it's scabbing over. And I'm like, I don't know if that's what that means, bro. Like, I don't fucking, it's, and like, I remember, oh my God, Zane. I remember one time Zane,
Had staff.
it's not that he had staff. It's that we ask him after in the locker room.
He lied.
We go,
No.
oh, how, like, what
Ingrown
is that on your
hair.
knee or whatever? Why do you have your knee wrapped? He's like, I had staff. And we're like, oh shit, did it pop? He's like, yeah, it popped. And then I'm like, oh, when did it pop? He's like, oh, just now during during rolling. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean it just popped right now? Like,
You ever get you ever get Impetigo?
Impetigo.
Have you gotten that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Dude, I've gotten that a couple times. That
What
is
is
the
Impetigo?
worst.
I don't
thing
really know
ever.
anything about
the
it.
one time I got it, it was on my lips.
Oh, when you-
It's called bulbous, and Zane will maybe get a clip of this.
Oh.
It's called bulbous Impetigo, and it's like all these like little blisters all over
Oh,
your
what the
lips. And
fuck?
I remember the one time I got, I was coaching wrestling at Edinburgh University, and the room was like really hot, and I was like, where I was like,
I'm just
That looks
constantly
so weird.
doing that.
that's weird. Then it was like pop, 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 pop. Like during that practice, they
Oh,
all
no.
it was
Shit.
crazy, man. Like my lips were so swollen, and it was like so
What the
uncomfortable, and they're like
fuck?
pussing fucking
Would you still kiss
blisters.
him? You're like, I don't care.
This was way before I met her.
She's like, I don't care about ringworm or any of that.
That
Would you
one
still
was
kiss
so
him?
bad.
I mean, I probably wouldn't kiss him, but I would still let you come to bed. But I probably wouldn't kiss you.
Well, yeah.
Not if there's pus.
No, that one.
Like,
It's the grossest thing ever. I'll show you pictures.
So
That's
funny.
in terms of skin diseases. That to me was the most uncomfortable.
The
and
impetigo?
grossest. Oh my god,
Damn.
so bad.
I remember I had some rash all over my body when I went to England in high school. And
Oh yeah, you told me.
Yo, this is great. This is a great line of stories.
It was the summer that bed bugs was real hot.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I was in
remember
England.
that.
I was it was this guy I was dating in college. He was from there.
Mhm.
So I was kind of wanted to break up with him, but I'm like, well, if I stay with him over the summer, I can go visit his family. I can go to England. That'll be cool.
That sounds awesome.
So we're there, and then I was like, oh my god, I don't know what's wrong. I had this burning, itching, raw rash all over my body, on my face. It was swollen. I was like, I don't know what this is. I went to I'm in a different country. Went to the doctors there. They're like, I was like, this isn't shingles. It looked like Google image of shingles. That's what it looked like. Yeah. And then they're like, I'm like, do you think it's bed bugs? And then the whole time, they were like, maybe it's bed bugs, because I was going around that summer, and the guy we were staying at his family's house, and they were made me so uncomfortable. They were annoyed that they had to wash all the sheets, and they were like, ugh. I'm like, I was fine until I came to your house. I don't know. And then we did it was a cruise, a Mediterranean cruise. So each day it stops off somewhere. But it was we were in Italy, and we're sitting on the beach, and they told me I couldn't be in the sun. So I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? Just sit in the room? Then the family wouldn't have gone without me, so I had to go out, and I'm sitting in the heat, and I don't really know what it was, but
you never found out.
What
but
the
it's
hell?
super
You
uncomfortable
never
the whole
found
time.
out?
I had
I was
something
in
that
tears.
once I didn't
tears.
find out about. I didn't know what it was, but it was
What?
Yeah, I was in tears. And then I used to get poison ivy really bad. I used to always get rashes and stuff. We used to get poison ivy so bad.
Yeah.
I remember 5th grade. I was my boyfriend at the time. He had in 5th grade you have a boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
I came back. It was all over my face. My eyes were swollen shut. And then when I got better, I went to school, and they let me wear a hat, because I was you weren't allowed to wear hats in school, but I had a little bucket hat when they were cool. Then I had it on. I went in when it was better. Oh, this little fucker cried. My boyfriend, he cried and broke up with me.
When he saw you, he cried?
He cried. He was embarrassed because he was my boyfriend, and I had my eyes were
got fucked up.
He's like, you're not my girlfriend.
He cried. He saw me and cried and broke up with me.
She's an 8, but she has poison ivy.
Yeah, her eyes are swollen shut. Yeah.
Yo, that's so funny. I would be so hurt. I'd be like, this gets better.
Yeah,
this gets better after a
fucking
bit.
loser. I kept an eye on him for a long time.
And he's a loser.
He's a fucking loser.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuck him, dude.
Yeah, we'll look up his Facebook after this.
Nice. That's good.
There's this one girl I went to high school with, and I'm friends with her on Facebook, but I wasn't even friends with her in high school. I don't even really know her, but it's of all the social media things that I follow, on Instagram, whatever, this is my favorite person in the world.
I have someone like that too.
It is the most incredible shit ever. It's
They're
you would
insane.
think he showed me her Facebook.
Extreme example. It'll be on a Facebook status, I'm out of milk. Anyone have any milk they could bring? My kids need it for tomorrow's breakfast. Or
can anyone pick up my kid from soccer?
Shit.
Publicly ask all this stuff. And it's just extreme white
You would think
trash.
it's a joke.
Just the most, you ever see the show Trailer Park Boys?
Yeah,
just like that.
Oh
just
my
then
God.
you showed it. He would
I'm
always tell me
obsessed
about
with
it.
her page.
And he showed me the one time. It was new rims on the baby, and it was I don't know, a
a neon.
Yeah, it's like a 1990 Jeep, not a cool vintage one.
Yeah.
It was just random shitty rims on some
That's
shitty
always
car.
getting engaged.
Yeah.
Oh, I
with
love
a
that.
little tiny ring with always. Then it doesn't work out.
Yo,
Yeah.
I had. Oh my God, I've had so many people like that in my life where it's they catch your eye for
and then
just
you're
being
how do I
weird.
know all this stuff about?
Yeah,
them?
yeah,
You're that's
I've
more
fought-
weird, but you're stuck.
I'm a weirdo. It's fine. I'm a weirdo. It's like watching this is my favorite TV show. That's what I the equivalent of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
There was one guy. He was obsessed with me. So I beat him in a tournament, right? And he was like, oh man, I should have warmed up better.
Yeah.
And I'm like, haha. I'm like, yeah, man. And he's like, I usually don't get caught with triangles. And then, like literally, I still have more of the tournament to do, and he's in my ear talking to me about why he lost his like round or why he lost our round or whatever. And like, I just remember him always trying to like train with me or whatever, and like always like sending me like his rolls, and I barely answered him. And I remember one time I invited him to an open mat because he was like, always wanted that rematch with me, right? So I invited him to an open mat, and like, first of all, he goes, it was like a small gym that I invited him to, and he goes, this was when we were all blue belts, and he was a blue belt with 3 stripes, and he's like, oh, look here, like, I'm a blue belt with 3 stripes. I'm the highest rank here. I'm like, what? Why would you even mention that? You know? And I literally fucked him up like 3 subs within like 2 minutes, and then he starts just talking throughout our roll. You know what I mean? Like then it's like he doesn't shut up, and then like just like I don't know, like just trying to talk technique with me and stuff, and like going really hard with all the other people in the room. And it was like a really small, like I brought just white belts and then like him, and like he was a dick. But the best part about him was that he got a jiu-jitsu tattoo huge on his back, right? And it was spelled wrong.
Stop, really?
You're
it was
lying.
yo,
You're
I
lying.
swear to God, I have pictures of it. This was one of the
jiu-jitsu?
It was J-U-I.
No.
It was Jui Jitsu.
You're lying.
And
I don't believe it.
I swear to God. And I have it.
Yeah.
And I have it on my phone.
It's kind of hard to spell.
It's kind of hard to spell.
I mean,
I was like, he's probably on his back.
It's kind of hard to
BJJ, Jits.
Yeah.
It is every time that and Muay Thai. I can't spell.
Oh, I can't spell
spell Muay Thai. Spell Muay Thai.
Mauйthai.
Okay, your turn.
I think now I know. Muay.
Uh-huh.
Thi. Thai is easy.
Yeah.
What did I say?
You got it wrong.
Yeah.
When you make a clip, you gotta have like the letters show up over his head. It's gotta be like M. Like, yo,
Jiu-jitsu though is hard. That's why when I text it, I was about to say he probably has it tattooed how I text it.
Yeah.
I just go BJJ, and then I'm like,
I guarantee if you were to like hashtag that, there's probably like millions.
Mad people who think,
you know what I mean?
Jiu-jitsu.
Like,
yeah.
So it was so funny. Like, okay, like I need like a piece of paper so that I could show. Do you have a pen or something?
No.
Well, his
we really don't. We're looking for one earlier.
That's hilarious, by the way. So it's spelled like J U J-U-I. What? Oh, I got it. Let me get that paper, because this is like better with a visual medium. But on the back is fine. Yeah. So he spelled it J-U-I, right? But it was like block letters, U-I. So it was like this, right? J-U-I. So he changed it. He added a block here, and then made this longer. And like, so it just looked like a W with an I.
Oh, that's worse. Because maybe if you spelled it wrong, people might look right away and like know what it's supposed to say, and
it ruined the entire tattoo because the U was bigger than the I. Like the I was still the same size, and then the U became like a mega U.
You gotta
know
do
what I mean?
Spell check on that.
So the guy, it was so funny because it was on Facebook, and he was like, and everyone's like, I think you spelled that wrong, buddy. And he's like, getting it fixed now. And I was on the edge of my seat waiting to see how he fixed it. And then everyone's like, I was like, fuck yeah, jiu-jitsu for life. Like, I was fucking with it.
Have you ever
That's so sick.
Wait, so this happened to me recently. Have you ever, like, obviously everyone does this.
What?
You have like certain people that you send their stories to. You know what I mean?
Oh, I sent that to everybody.
Okay, so like you have to be careful, like replying to their story. Like if someone, if I send you Zane's story, and then if you open it and you reply like, haha, what a loser, he looks stupid, and you say it to him, You know, you have to be careful.
Yeah.
So this kind of happens.
That's easy to have happen.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. And if it happens,
you
feel like such an asshole, even though you know everyone's almost done that.
You know how that happened to me? I sent a girl's profile to her.
Oh,
you know,
but at least you didn't say anything.
And I was like, oh, I did. I forgot what I said, but
you
it was
must have
like
to just admit it.
I was like, I forgot.
I just wanted to say hi. I didn't know how else to
I was
say
like, yeah, I like dropped a drop of water hit my phone and it did that by itself. Like, sorry, you know what I mean?
So
like,
my friend sent me like it was like some girl I don't even know. It's just like a girl that has like 300,000 followers, like an influencer. Sends me her live. She went live to introduce her boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
So
you clicked it.
So she sent it to me and I like opened it, and then so the girl's like not with the guy, but they're like, you know, they're split screen, and the guy is like a daughter with her. And it seemed like the girl was like annoyed that the young daughter kept talking, because she's like, okay, well, we have some questions for you, babe. And then the little daughter's like, look at me. So like she seemed like whatever. I like scrolled through it a little bit. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then so I go, I'm like, damn, she's real annoyed with the daughter that the daughter won't stop talking. Laugh my ass off. Didn't think any sense in the morning, whatever. Go my day, and I look at my phone. I see the fucking girl messages me.
No.
I was like, I knew right away. I didn't open the message. I just saw that. I was like, she goes, actually, I wasn't annoyed. I think you sent this to the wrong person. I'm so embarrassed for you.
No.
And I was like, yo, my thing is like blue check, like so embarrassing. But like, I just straight up was like,
that's so good.
Yeah, I was like that. I was like, wow, that is embarrassing. I was like, I'm sorry. Because what am I gonna say? No, I didn't say that. Like, and I did, but like, and that was fucked up. But like, obviously, I didn't mean for her to see it, which would have been fucked up. But you know what I mean? Like, if you almost like say something, I wasn't trying to be mean to her, and I didn't even really like watch it. But when someone like, because I know when people like say DM me and like say mean stuff, like it definitely is like sucks. But I was like,
because typically only like losers will DM you something like insulting, like like someone else who's perceived to be like successful, cool, it comes off like really bad. She must really hate me.
I was like, oh my god, and I even said, I was like, I don't even know you. I actually follow you and like a lot of the stuff. I was just like,
oh no, you try to save it.
I was like, but it's true. I was like, I was just kind of being a bitch, like, which was couldn't.
You were just joking with your friend.
Yeah, like my friend. I was just like, oh, she seemed annoyed. I didn't even really like watch it, but I was like, fuck.
I feel like that like if you were that honest with me about it, I would be like, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was like, what am I gonna do? I didn't have to answer at all, but then I was like, I could have deleted it and blocked her.
Yeah, dude, that's.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
When I said that I was a 9, that was definitely the most positive thing I've said about me on.
That's
I was
great.
surprised that you said that. Zane?
No, why were you surprised though? On that, I've never been insecure.
On that note,
no, because usually you're so down on yourself.
No, but not with that.
Yeah,
I've always been.
Now you're a realist.
You know you're a hottie.
You know, Zane, right? You're surprised that I was so my bravado on that. Yeah, but that is different. It's just look.
That's different. We're taking the mind out of the account.
We're taking everything out.
Everything else out. Just looks, please.
Everything
come on. This is the only way.
Everything else you think is a 0,
dude,
right?
That's so fucking funny. Man, I was really trying to find. I have that pic. Yo, I sent it to all of my friends. I'm telling you right now, like, and it was crazy because, like.
Do you think we could put the clip in for the tattoo?
Oh yeah,
we'll
I do not. And the thing is, he still follows me and everything. And like, I mean, I don't care.
Did he get his purple yet?
I think he got his purple, yeah. But it's you
gotta be just. Don't you think like sometimes with those when people like DM you and stuff, it's like sometimes it's funny, but then every once in a while you're like, oh, I've seen enough like Netflix documentaries about this stuff. You have to be kind, because especially like in jiu-jitsu. No.
I feel like every girl has a stalker.
Not that I know of.
No, like
really.
There's just like definitely a collection of people who, like obsessed with feet.
Yeah, you definitely have a stalker.
No, not that I know. Fighter. I mean, my stuff's like private or public, so like I just post everything. Yeah. The only time I ever like got worried about it and nothing ever happened.
People send fan mail to our house every single day.
That rocks.
To our house though. That's
how did they get my address?
How did they know your address?
Well, it's so easy to get your address.
So
yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say it, but like, I mean, like.
Because when
all
people
businesses
ask me,
are public information.
Yeah, because when
thing.
anyone asks me, I give them the gyms.
Right?
I give them like one of the gyms. I'm like, you send it to like one of these 2 gyms.
Yeah.
And but I get to the house, and then the only thing that's kind of weird is sometimes like some of them, like they do handwritten letters.
Oh my god.
And some of them are like, I was like, I'm not comfortable with reading this letter and getting like to know the person through a handwritten letter.
Oh, wow.
I'm not comfortable with this person knowing my address.
We read the letter, or I read the letters out loud every time we get one, every single time, and we send them to Gordon and Natalia in like a group chat. And I'm just reading these handwritten letters,
It's like monotone.
and it's the most hilarious thing.
Why don't you read them on here?
We should.
That should be
we will.
You should do it in like a scary voice.
Because they do it like they'll say like, "Hi, Katlyn, I'm your biggest fan. My name is this. I am from," and it says where they're from. And then it'll be like, "I really liked your first fight." It'll be like, say like 2, like it's like in the format of like how to write a letter. And
like when you're in grade
it's like
introduce
a kid,
yourself.
But they're like 30.
And they're like,
oh my
I'm
God.
26 years old and this and that.
Oh shit.
And then they'll say like 2 or 3 facts about Katlyn. Like, I really liked your third UFC fight in Charlotte, North Carolina. Like,
yeah, like some of them you'd be like,
jarring.
"Oh, this is so cute," and then they're like, "I'm 34."
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
"Wait,
Well, I'll show you
what?"
when we're
I
done
thought
with
this was
this.
like a little kid writing a letter, and I thought it was sweet, and I'm like,
That's so good.
"What?"
They're like, "Could we be pen pals?" And then it's
Yeah.
like, "Love the 34-year-old."
Yeah.
Send
The
me
one,
this letter.
the one time this happened actually twice, where I had an Uber drop me off. And then, like, later that night, I looked and they had DM'd me. And they're like, "Hey, I was your Uber driver. I thought it was you, but I didn't want to say anything."
That's so much.
And the thing is, like, that could be it. And that's, like, that could not be weird. They could just be like,
yeah, how do you
"Dude,"
approach that
they
in
could
a
be
not
like,
weird
yeah,
way?
because they could be,
Well,
the
if you're
same
in the
as.
Uber, hey, are you?
I'd be too nervous, maybe.
But then I think if you're too because the thing is, the person could do that, DM me and say that, and they could be not being weird, but it is a little. Then I'm like, fuck, like, is this person weird? Now they know where I live because they're like, obvious. You know what I mean?
You gotta
like,
be as nice as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Like,
It's one of those things that they're probably just being nice, and it's fine. But like, if you found out that they came back, broke in the house, and like abducted me, you'd be like, "Oh, well, I'm not surprised."
Oh yeah, those the
you
Uber
got to
guy
be
for
careful
sure.
with the Uber drivers. You got to be safe. Like, what? I'm not supposed to take an Uber? Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, you take an Uber to your neighbor's house. And,
yeah,
you know,
I guess so.
Dude,
They break into the neighbors though, and then like,
That's
where's Bonfire?
just do it to 50 or whatever.
Yeah, do
Oh,
that
fuck.
into the
You should
block.
cut that out.
Yeah, do it to the end of the block. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
I don't think I really get stalkers. I think stalkers go for, like, they know I'll like fuck them up. I'm not nice enough to.
No, just because like I feel like every girl has a stalker. Like every girl that I've talked to has like a story about like one guy, or like not even just like a stalker, but like a guy that will like constantly hit them up. Like every year, this guy wishes me a happy birthday.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
what is wrong with those guys that like have a like tons of, "Hey, what's up?" Like a million unanswered messages, and they still are.
There was this one guy that was in our.
Like if I messaged to like someone one time and they didn't, if I was like, "Hey, what's up?" and they didn't talk.
See,
to
that's
them,
hot guy shit.
The
though.
number might not have even gone through, but I'm never reaching out.
See that's like hot guy shit, and like I feel like us adjustable threes. Right?
You would do 2 in a row.
I wouldn't do like 10 in a row, but like if I like maybe like 2 or 3. Yeah, but like they're classy. It's like not like it's like very low effort.
Oh my god.
Like, you know what?
Way.
And like but because it's like it doesn't take much for me to do that, and the reward is so great. So like,
there's not gonna be a reward.
But the thing is, sometimes it works out. So like, I feel like, okay, you know who's a great example of this? Cool Rack.
Oh, yeah.
So like he is so fucking funny. He will DM a girl, like it'll be like 2018, 2019.
Yeah,
like
sounds like it's on brand for him.
He'll have a litany of like unanswered messages, and then he'll get like a response, and then he'll post it on the story and be like, "Victory, boys." And like, you know what I mean?
I remember,
it's very funny.
I've done this before. Like this, I just remember when you said that, like years and years ago, like when texting was first kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I remember like getting a girl's number out at a bar. Like you put in your phone, it was before like social media really. And I'd always put like Jennifer Soho or whatever the bar. And then a lot of times I would never message them.
Yeah.
Then I remember like a few years, like, over the years things would go by and you'd still have that number.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would periodically just like message them like, hey, what's up? It's like Kyle. I'd be like, yeah, I met you at Soho like 3-4 years ago. And they're like, I didn't want to seem too anxious. And then they'd be like, think it was the funniest thing because they didn't really even remember me because like not seeming too anxious would be like 2-3 days. But this would be like 4 or 5 years.
That is a good
and I've definitely had that work out for me.
That's so funny.
I met you at Soho in the parking lot like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't want to be too forward.
I think I had a green shirt on.
Oh my God.
Isn't that funny? I didn't want to come off as too anxious.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's really playing the long game. But then you're instantly in a funny dialogue.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, she very likely could have been engaged or married.
Yeah.
There was this creepy kid in high school that he was known for, like, this was like when Instant Messenger was super popular. He was known for asking every girl, what color underwear are you wearing?
Ooh.
Everyone.
Awesome.
So like, and everyone knew him. Like we'd like yell at him. We're like, ew, you're fucking gross. Like, why do you ask? And everyone would be like, disgusting granny panties with holes all in them. Like everyone would say that.
And he's like, oh.
But it's so funny to see like usually like my friends in high school, like once every like, not often, like once every like 3 or 4 years we'll like get one of his pictures like of him and his like daughter, like him and his like his whole family on Facebook, and we're like, when we'll like send it to our group chat, we're like, what color panties are you wearing?
It's funny that you never forget shit like
I know
that.
I don't
because
but
people don't forget.
It wasn't like he asked one time. That was his thing. He'd ask every girl all the time. Like it was like a weird thing.
It's funny that nowadays that wouldn't fly. No, I don't think.
If you said that,
high school
it wouldn't fly.
Now.
You guys can't fetish shame him.
Yeah.
You guys can't kink shame him.
Yeah,
right?
I guess that's right.
Kink shame? Is that what it's called?
Kink shame. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Kink shaming. Yeah.
Kink shame.
Yeah, you can't kink shame people.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he'd be like, you're an asshole.
Yeah. You have to just tell him. He's not.
You'd have to tell him.
Yeah, he asked nice.
He asked politely.
As he's not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
But
shame.
I'm saying the reason, like, I feel like so many girls in my life like have had that experience with like a guy that just won't leave them alone, or like you're forced to like change your number, and it's so like normalized, I feel like, in our society to like have a weirdo like that like pop into your life. I feel like every girl has a story like that where like, oh, it's like this weird fucking guy won't leave me alone, or like
sometimes I think a lot of like
they sensationalize the term
I think like a lot of girls
too.
like want like someone to stalk them.
Yeah, maybe.
And then, or they want someone to stalk them, or like they kind of like the person was creepy and they kind of like flirted back a little bit, but now they're like trying to cover it up.
Yeah. Oh, I could see that too.
I mean, like I've had friends where I'm like, they're like, oh, this guy stalks me. I'm like, you definitely hooked up with him. Like
guys like, but guys that don't get the clue is the strangest thing ever to me. Like I talked about this. Sometimes I'll have like friends who are like close friends, and I'll get like the inkling in my mind for whatever reason, but like I feel like they don't talk to me that much, or like they're mad at me or something. Yeah. And then I'll never talk to him again. I'm like, I'm not gonna hit him up. I feel like he's like annoyed, and then I never talk to him again.
That's hot girl shit.
No, because like
that's hot girl shit. Are you taking notes, Zane? Take notes.
Like why isn't this person? Why isn't this person reaching out to me? Then they're probably thinking he doesn't. And then I've had to have in several friendships.
Wow, name some. Like, who do you miss like that? Like, what the hell?
We should get them on the we
sad.
should get them on the podcast and be like,
should
we talk about what happened?
How do you
should you this is what you say. You're like, hey, I didn't want to be too anxious hitting you up.
You were wearing a green shirt the last time we hung out.
The last time we hung out in Vegas, I was wearing a green shirt.
You know what? Another like a lame way to break the ice with something like that too. Like if it was a romantic relationship, but I'm talking like platonic relationships. But if it was a romantic relationship, this is like super low hanging fruit. But like super random, but I had a crazy dream about you.
Oh,
like
God,
the dream.
The
dream.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I had a dream.
It's so cringy and such low hanging fruit, but that
I had a dream
sort
we made
of like
out.
really? That's what it's about. I don't know. You had like wooden teeth.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You were over my house. Like, what the hell?
It wasn't
then
real.
you gotta like
was
make up a
it?
dream. It's like
It wasn't real. Oh, my dream come true. You're here.
you've
now.
definitely heard something like that, right?
I mean, I don't know.
I've definitely said that.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have.
I had a dream about you the other night.
Wait, did
I
you
never
ever,
dream.
Dude, that's so funny. Yo, you know.
Wait, did you ever tell Carlo your story about Carlo?
No.
What's Carlo? I know
Too much or no? Is it too long?
I mean, it's kind of long.
I feel like we should end on that.
Oh, have
one.
you seen Manti Teo?
Oh my god, we talked about this last
Yeah,
episode.
some
That was
stuff.
the most
Oh, did
amazing
you?
shit ever.
Yeah.
Yo,
Wasn't that so sad
He had a
though?
glow up.
I saw probably like 30, like maybe like 10, 20 minutes of it, but
Oh, you
I
gotta watch the
heard
whole thing.
I heard the story like
It's
like
so
peripherally,
sad.
yeah, like that there was like this girl who's like fake. Yo, her reasons for like doing it,
She
like I
didn't
said,
seem like she felt that bad to me.
She's like laughing about
she's
it.
like, yeah, I did it. I just felt like it, and that
Yeah.
is the funniest fucking thing in
Yeah.
the world to me. She's like not
But
even
she
like
kinda,
really
like, ruined his
sorry.
life.
Yeah, and that's so
Ruined
but that's
his
so
life.
internet culture though.
They're
That's
like, oh, like it's almost like it's not real. It was just on the internet. It's like,
No, you
dude,
ruined his life.
Back in the day, I feel like this was when the internet was fucking cool. It was like it was people were like so disconnected from like the real like
Yeah,
consequences and stuff. Like people would be like, have
Just
you ever heard
delete-
of swatting?
Oh
It's-
yeah. I just learned about this literally yesterday. They call the police.
Yeah.
Like someone's kidnapped, and they'd watch.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's
yeah.
like imagine we're playing Call of Duty and I fucking hate you.
I literally
and, like,
just heard about this.
And like I hate you so much that I find your IP address, I get your house address, and then I call the local police department and I'm like, there's a hostage situation in fucking whatever street, and then they go there, kick down the door, and just shoot whoever's in
they
there.
don't shoot.
Well,
them.
like some people will die, you know? They just like tear gas whoever's in there.
I
Get
would
on
be
the fucking
surprised
ground.
if they
and he
shot.
probably knock on the door and say, what's going
No,
on?
they
here?"
only probably go
No,
in.
they go
fucking
in. They go in guns
hard.
blazing.
But then wouldn't you get in like so much trouble? Well,
Yeah,
this
how
is
do
back
they
in the day.
prove-
This
No,
is
but
you can probably do
you
it
could-
like in a
like
secret way.
Or
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
burn phone, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So like this was like a thing. Like this was
Yeah, I've
back when
heard
the
of that.
internet was fucking crazy and it was like the Wild West and stuff like that. Like people would be doing this type of shit. I
feel
thought
like
it was fun.
I
thought
kind
it
of
was
did
funny.
something like this once.
What
but
would you do?
when I was a flower girl in a wedding, this was like back in the day, and like I don't know, I was probably like 4 or 5,
Uh-huh.
and I was playing before the reception started. I was playing on the payphones, you
Mhm.
know, and I didn't think like it worked. So
Mm-hmm.
like me and another girl and I called 911, and I was like, "Oh my god, someone's dead here.
What?
We need help. We need help." Sure enough, fucking ambulance, cop
Shut
cars,
up.
and I was like, and I was so young. I remember being like, "I'm going to jail.
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna get in trouble."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're like, someone
So
called.
did you get caught doing that? Or-
Hell no, she didn't get
Yeah,
caught.
they knew.
They knew it was you.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause
they-
I'm like
they knew-
crying. I'm like,
Oh,
I had
you
no
can't-
poker face. Like, I got
Yo,
so
you just had to stay shut up and you
They're
wouldn't
like,
have done.
someone called from the payphone. I was like, I was probably crying like when they pulled up.
They didn't even.
You
Yeah.
probably legit thought you were going to jail.
No, I did. Yeah.
I'm going to jail.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
That's the
doing
funniest
time.
thing.
I was like,
Ever.
I'm getting locked up
Zero
tonight
poker
in my
face.
dress.
Yo, zero poker face.
Yeah, I was probably
Yeah,
crying
locked up.
before like they even came in. But yeah,
Yo, I mean, I feel like I always wanted to like that. I wish I had the guts to like, I don't know, like I feel like calling a
What?
bomb threat like on my school,
or
like
even pulling the fire alarm.
yeah, pull
That's
the
more,
fire alarm,
That's like
but just
people
to
did that.
have a day off or something like that. Like
Yeah.
I never had the guts to do that. I feel like
Oh no way! I would be terrified.
yeah, I could never do that.
I was
That's
so
like bad
afraid of like
kids.
breaking
Yeah.
the rules when I was a kid. Like
Yeah.
I used to think like, yo, you go to jail or you
Yeah.
like I listened to like everything teachers. I was so like afraid of
Mhm.
adults like growing up.
Oh yeah.
I was
Well, I
super-
feel like I
Yeah, I
was
was
too.
afraid
from
of
like my
adults, too.
parents.
I feel like our like
Yeah.
people. It's
like,
like
now you're like all these adults are fucking
They're all
drug addict
idiots.
losers.
Yeah.
But
Well, you're
growing up,
older.
I respected anyone who older than me.
Yeah, yeah.
But now
really
I
did.
don't
Me
think
too.
I don't
Now
think
I don't think that
kids
way.
now aren't. No, you don't think that way because you're
No,
an adult. But
well, yeah.
kids nowadays, I don't think are scared of
I
adults.
feel
No,
like
I don't
the
think
lines
they
are
should be.
blurred. The
Yeah.
lines are blurred now.
Like, 'cause if
internet.
a teacher was like, if I did something wrong and like say like back in the day, like a teacher called my mom and told
then
them,
you're at fault.
it's like I was like, oh shit. It wasn't now. They're like,
Let's hear your side.
Let's hear your side. They're like, well, no, my kid said this. Like, I couldn't be like, no, mom, I did. Even if I didn't do something, I couldn't be like, I wasn't talking. My mom would be like, no, the teachers.
My parents, no matter what, they always sided with
adults always sided with each other, which, like, for the most part, it should be like that. I'm sure sometimes, like,
there should be a united front of adults against kids. Like, no, I support that because the kid, if not, the kids are just gonna walk all over you.
The kids should be a little bit. They should be scared. Or, like, when I hear like kids like talking back to their parents, I'm like, oh my God. Yo,
every parent-teacher
scary.
conference, I knew I was getting my ass beat 3 times a year.
Yeah.
I had a scheduled ass beating every single year. I was like, this parent-teacher conference is going to be the war. And like, it was always horrible.
Oh, yeah.
It was always the worst. I was always getting fucked up.
Before we wrap it up, I want to wrap it up with one thing. We've talked about this before a couple times, and I just want to hear your take on it.
Okay.
Have you ever heard the quote, like something... For instance, a Mercedes is not a symbol of success if you drive it to a job you hate. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you feel about that?
A Mercedes is not a sign of success if you drive it to a job you hate.
Do you think you have to love what you do? Like to be...
I don't think like it's weird, I guess, because like for me, I don't know if I could do something that hate.
You hate, yeah.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
And I feel like
I couldn't.
Some people are like built like that where they can
just grind through anything.
They can grind through, like, it's like they can grind through it and then still like try to enjoy the other parts of their life. But like, I feel like maybe I'm spoiled in that sense where like I just cannot imagine not doing the shit that I like to do. So like, I love to do jujitsu, and I know I'm neglecting so many other parts. Like I could develop my business or myself, like financially or whatever the fuck. But like I'm very much in the camp of like if like you're saying, like, you know, you're driving a Mercedes to a job you hate. Like I would rather like take a shitty bike to a place that I love. You know what I mean? Like and you know. I think about this a lot, that like in the future, maybe I'm not like gonna be happy with the choices I make, but like I think that as like not just like an adult, but like as a man, like I'm making the choices now. I'm gonna learn to live with whatever happens, and I very much feel like this is the right thing that I should be doing. So like I don't know if I would be able to call that like success if I truly had like a Mercedes and I was driving to something that I hated. Like I don't think I would be able to like be happy. Like I'm.
And you probably wouldn't be.
But
happy
you would
with
say
yourself.
you're happy with exactly what you're doing.
With right now what I'm doing, like I get giddy at like
you're happy
what my life is right now, and like
that's great.
It's very like I feel like I don't have the stability that people have in their lives. That like I feel like it's very like tumultuous, like this could end at any moment, but so can like everything. Like I knew when we were at Henzo's, I was like, this isn't forever. Like this moment in time is very special. These are going to be the golden years. Like I know I'm living in the good old times right now. So like I'm just like very aware that these are the moments that I'm going to look back on in my life and be like, I'm so glad I did whatever the fuck I wanted, because what I wanted to do was exactly what I feel like I should be doing. This comes very naturally to me. And I said this before, but like everything I put in, I get back. So eventually I feel like if I keep doing this one foot in front of the other, I'm going to find my version of success that I'm going to be happy with. And like, I just don't think that that's like the version of success I would be able to live with myself with.
Good answer.
Yeah. Why? What are you gonna
No,
say?
No, I mean, I agree. I do the same thing. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, you guys.
Me and Zane are from a slightly different camp, but I wish I was. I always think, like you said, like grind through something, and then when you're not doing that, you have the money or whatever to do what you want, and when you're not doing it, then you're. But then, like, you know, half the days you're miserable, right? Half the time. But then the other half, you could be super happy.
But you know what? It takes away a lot of the, because like that just sounds like stable and like nice. Like it sounds like it's almost like I hear that and I'm like, oh, that sounds nice. Like, you know, although
but it's not easy though.
Yeah, although you might hate half the day, like at least you have like
You have to
security.
be able to,
like you have like
But you have to be able to like shut it off, because some people can do that and they say they're going to do that, but then one thing goes wrong on the outside world and it's not great. Now your whole day sucks. Right.
That's
you
very
know,
true.
like
Very
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting though.
I like that. I'm interested with. I like the idea of like what like happiness, like how people are they happy or they not.
I think people in our world and like jiu-jitsu and stuff, it seems so normal just to be like, it's so normal just to be like, I don't know, just figure it out. Like, what are you gonna do? But like my friend, like few friends I have that are outside of it, they're like living like totally
you're out of your mind.
They're like totally normal lives. Like sometimes I'll be like, you know, like a Tuesday, and I'm like, oh, I want to like, does anyone want to go do something? They're like, what? Like, it's Tuesday. Working. I'm like, oh, to me, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. But like sometimes when you're around, like I'm around everyone from the gym, it's so normal. Yeah. But then when you're like, wait, it's like two different worlds. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. As far as like happiness, I think that like I'm like same thing. Like it's the same, like in the same vein. It's like it's fleeting. And like I know that like I'm not always gonna be happy in the life that I chose, but like in the moments that I am happy, I very much like try to like sit in those moments and really enjoy them.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it a lot because everything changes, everything's fleeting. Like this life is so like time's been moving so fast. After 20, time just flies. Like after. And then I can't imagine what life's gonna be like.
30.
I just turned 30.
Oh, you did. Okay.
So like now, I just know it's gonna be speeding up and stuff like that. What I know, like for sure right now, is that I'm like happy now in the moment that like I'm in. So like I can't really like ask for anything else or like plan for. It's hard to plan ahead because like I've seen like really like
a lot of people aren't happy.
Yeah, and I've seen depression like up close, and I know what it's like to like not even have like the energy to get out of bed and like just like the like rock bottom. And you know, like I'm just aware that it's all fleeting. So like whatever I can do to like be happy in the moments that I'm happy, I'm gonna keep doing that, because like I've seen the other side of like people like being in the darkness and they can't get themselves out of bed and like stuff like that. Like I'll do whatever it takes not to feel like that, because that shit is dude, it's like it's crazy, and a lot of the times it's just like you're just not happy. So you don't have the energy to do anything. You can't do anything to step forward in your life. So I don't know. I just feel like although I feel like happiness is fleeting, I'm gonna like absorb all the moments that I'm taking in right now, because I'm like just.
That's great. So it sounds like you're doing exactly what you should be doing. And that's probably why you're doing so well. You're getting better every day because you're doing exactly what you want. Really appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Yeah,
we'll have you on again for sure.
How much time was this? This was
like
crazy.
Probably an hour and a half.
Nice.
Hour 45. That might be our longest episode.
Really?
And we had no outline.
We had no outline.
I was like, we usually do like some sort of outline before, but I was like, Fabian's on. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
No, I love doing podcasts and stuff.
We got some really good reviews the last couple weeks, which we really appreciate. So be sure to leave us a review. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Where can they follow you?
Follow me at Instagram _FlavaFabe_ or at Fort Stringers. I have a podcast. Yeah, and
we'll put that all in the link.
Yeah, awesome. Check me out. FortStringers.com.
Zane, we'll catch up with you next week.
Zane.